the difference between mirroring with autism and mirroring with borderline personality disorder. It can be a little difficult to spot the differences because it is so similar. Both BPD and autism uh, tend to weave themselves together in adulthood, particularly due to intense world theory, where many autistics, specifically late diagnosed, undiagnosed autistics, experience the world so intensely. And when others don't, including themselves, don't understand that the individual is autistic, they may not understand why they're experiencing the world so intensely. And so they tend to be gaslit far more often. And so that trauma tends to develop into borderline personality disorder a lot of times, as well as several other disorders, anxiety, depression, PTSD, CPTSD, and so on. Where mirroring comes in is we have something called mirror neurons. This helps us to blend in with the rest of society. It helps us to become part of the culture, to not stand out as much, to be more accepted. When it comes to mirroring with autism, um, we do so in order to mask, in order to enmesh ourselves in with our society around us, in order to not stick out like a sore thumb, in order to be more accepted, and in order to just make friends, essentially. And that's where we basically mirror the way other people's dress, the way other people act. Um, Oftentimes we'll use the same words in the same way as we've heard them delivered before. And it all has to do with being more accepted. As for BPD, mirroring with borderline personality disorder is more about not having a sense of self-identity, not knowing who you truly are, because you've masked your entire life, because you're afraid of being abandoned by those you care about, because you want to be accepted. Um, it can be similar to autism, um, but for different purposes. The lacking of a self identity means that you have really no sense of self. You don't know who you are. You will cycle through different personality styles. Um, in my small town, there seems to be a uniform for men. You know, the flannel shirt with the um, uh, vest and blue jeans and some boots. And I'm not talking about a dress vest. I'm talking about those winter cold weather vests, kind of faux fur inside. Um, that seems to be the accepted style for men in my area. I stand out like a sore thumb. I have attempted to mirror those others, um, but because of my autism, I still have a tendency to stick out, even when I am trying to mirror that culture, that style. Um, when I received my autism diagnosis, I said, fuck it. I wasn't going to attempt to mirror any longer. Um, I wanted to be comfortable in my own skin. And for somebody with BPD, this can be watching a movie or TV show and relating to a character so much, or admiring a character so much, you begin to take on their personality traits for yourself. You begin to dress like them. You begin to act like them. Maybe not to the same extent, Um, like you could see somebody like Peter Venkman in Ghostbusters and say, hey, I really like his style. I really like his personality. I'm going to adopt that as my own. Or Johnny Depp, or Brad Pitt, or whoever. And I'm saying male names because I'm male. Um, and I have done this. I still do this from time to time. I've never officially been diagnosed BPD, but I do meet a lot of the criteria, more than the minimum criteria to be diagnosed. And so we just have to understand, as autistics, as individuals with BPD, where that mirroring comes from. On one hand, it comes from a place of wanting to be accepted into the popular culture, into the community around you. On the other hand, it has a lot to do with trauma. It has a lot to do with abandonment and not understanding, not knowing who you truly are.